Happy Wednesday, Wholesale to Million YouTube family. How are you guys doing today? We're back with another subscriber first wholesale deal interview. He's actually in one of my our private Facebook group. And for those of you who's curious, I know a lot of you ask how do I get into it? It's not free. You have to buy one of my package. But our guest today just closed his first wholesale deal back in November 10th. All right, back in November 10th. For $24,885.50. And you guys, if you recently have closed your first wholesale deal, remember to shoot me, email me at wholesale2millions with an S at gmail.com. I would love to get you onto the channel to share your stories and your first wholesale deal. And the reason why we do this is to inspire and motivate and let you guys know that, hey, go out there and get yours, all right? So you guys put your thumbs together. Help me welcome Keith Lee from Tampa, Florida. What up, buddy?
How you doing, Khang?
Hey, very good, man. Happy Wednesday. You ready to rock and roll?
Absolutely, man. Happy Wednesday to you.
Dude, I am excited for you, bro, and I'm super happy for you and the wife. His wife is Tamasha. You know, it's always saying that a successful man needs a strong, supportive woman behind him. So congrats, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you. You looking sharp, man. I got to step my game up.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I really, I actually been getting lots of compliments, so which is good because they're tired of me jeans and t-shirt.
Yeah. That's always a good thing.
Awesome.
You know, you dress good, you feel good, and the day goes good.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. So, Keith, everybody probably wants to know your story, man. So share with us kind of your stories. I want to know kind of where you were and then how do you transition over into wholesaling?
Okay. So basically, my story is, I've been in real estate for over half my life. I'm 44. So I bought my first rental property when I was 21. So I've been in real estate for a long time. I saw a video you did. I think it was yesterday. The guy talked about carton sheets back in the 90s, early 90s. And I bought his package as well. But I also, while I had his package, there was a book, and it was actually called Nothing Down for the 90s. It's written by Robert G. Allen. It's actually called now Nothing Down for the 2000s, since, we're in the 2000s. But when I bought it, we were in the 90s. But I had the carton sheets, and I acquired that book. And once I got that book, I put the carton sheets down. This guy, and how the book starts out is, he put an ad in the paper, right? That said you can send them anywhere in the United States and send them there for a week, and he'll have a property, no money down by the end of the week. So he put the ad in the paper, and someone sent him to San Francisco for a week, and his challenge was to get a property, no money down. Anyway, by the end of the week, he had 3 properties, no money down. So that book, it kind of changed my life, and it definitely changed my thinking. I never thought the same way after reading that book. So I just, wrote down everything the book told me to do, followed it. In like 2 or 3 months, I had like 4 units, no money down. I put $3,000 down to close, but I got it back the next day with the security deposits and the rent. So, and it started from there. I acquired 23 units in the next 2 years. Ended up getting a divorce, lost everything. I had a friend, actually my best friend, he knew, my credit was shot, but he knew I knew, how to buy property. So we teamed up, and the next 4 or 5 years, we killed it, buying properties, rehabbing, buying 1 or 2 properties a month, rehabbing them. And we did that for a while until the prices got too high. And then we started buying lots, doing new construction. We both went back to school. I got my mortgage broker license. So I was building, doing rehabs, and doing mortgages all at once. And then the crash came, right? 2007. The crash came. I had actually even before that time, I went to contracting school as well. So the crash came. Long story short, lost, didn't lose everything, but sold everything, and things were so slow. I knew I was going to have to go back to work. So went back to work, working for a bank. But before I did go back to work, I said, well, let me go get my realtor license. At least this way I know I can make some money on the side. So went back to work, started at a company, a bank, HSBC, worked there for 7 years and did realtor deals on the side. And after 7 years, they decided that they were going in a different direction, and they laid everybody off, closed the whole building. And by that time, I had enough money saved and enough clientele that I could still move forward. So anyway, I got into cold calling, FISBOs and expires. FISBOs are for sale by owners, expired listings. I did that for about 6 months, and I had my scripts and things like that. And so I got to a point to where I could set the appointment. But once I go on the appointment, it was so many realtors, so many agents going after the same listings and the same expires. It's like, after you do the interview, it's 4 or 5 agents right behind you. So I say, look, I got to do something else. I mean, I don't believe in to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So I'm always trying to find something else to do. So I started looking on YouTube. Actually, before I even started cold calling, I saw Sean Terry. I saw him on YouTube before I even started cold calling for the FISBOs and the expires. And I said, well, I'm going to do the FISBOs and expires first, and then I'll get back to that. Once the FISBOs and expires pick up, I'll get back to that. Well, anyway, I started YouTubing and stuff, and then I found you. And the difference between you and Sean Terry, I mean, Sean Terry's good. He makes a boatload of money, cash or whatnot. But what pulled me to you is, you're so transparent. Like, you is like, I know you without even saying a word to you, and that's what pulled me towards you, because you told your whole life story. And it was just real, it was real. So, I still listen to Sean Terry, but for the most part, I listen to you, for the most part, and because I just like your story, and you're like the true American dream. You started from nothing, and look at you now. So, that's pretty much my story. So what I did was I changed it up, right? I'm like, well, let me just go start knocking on doors, right? Because I'm like, I see all these people going to foreclosure, and they have like $100,000 worth of equity, $70,000 worth of equity. So I would look up the foreclosures, and I look the foreclosures up, right? And then I will find out which ones have equity. So I just go start knocking on doors. So I'm knocking on doors. I also wrote a letter saying, hey, if you need help, I can sell your home or I can buy it cash, whatnot. And in the in between, I put some ads on Craigslist, because we're surrounded by like four counties. So I put it in, of course, Hillsborough County, the county I'm in, and the 4 surrounding counties. And before I did that, and I prayed to God. I said, look, God, just let this ad reach the people it needs to reach. And if you're not a big believer in God, I am. But what I did was, after I prayed, I pressed the button to pay for it. And in 5 minutes, Khang, this lady called me, and she said, look, I want to sell. I have a rental property. She said, my husband just passed. He took care of the rental property. I don't know anything about it. And I just want to sell it. And I said, okay. She said, yeah, do you buy in Palmetto, which is the next county over? And I said, yeah, sure, we buy in Palmetto. And she says, yeah, my husband just passed. I want to sell the rental property. She said, we had first and last month's rent. I had tenants in it. I told them they could live for 2 months for free and then they would have to leave. She said they left, but they left the home so trashed out. She said, I ordered a dumpster and I paid some guys to haul everything off. So she said, I don't want anything. She said, I just want you to pay my mortgage off. So I said, okay, how much is the mortgage? She said, it's 104. I said, well, what's the address? She gave me the address. I looked it up on Zillow. Zillow had it for 250. So I knew it was a deal automatically. So, I said, well, how many bedrooms, bath? She said, it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, upstairs and downstairs. And she says, all I want is 104. I said, look, I'm going to give you more than that. But I said, I need to come out and look at the property. When can I come? She said, you can come today. I said, would 2:00 be good for you? She said, yeah, I'll meet you there at 2. Went out, met her at 2. Khang, when I got out to the property, it was a block from the bay. It was, instead of 2 bedroom, 2 bath, it was a 4 bedroom, 2 bath. It was, I guess it used to be on stilts, but somebody enclosed it and they put 2 more bedrooms downstairs. So it was 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bath, and 2 bedrooms downstairs, 1 bath. So, but the downstairs, it didn't have any AC, but it was on public record. So I know that they had pulled permits because everything was, the square footage was on public record. So I'm like, cool. So, we walk around the house, it's really not too bad. Everything just needs to be rehabbed and upgraded to 2018. Other than that, I mean, everything was fine. She did put in a new AC unit, interior and exterior for the upstairs because she said lightning had struck it. So that was new. Other than that, everything else needed to be upgraded. So I said, look, after we talked, I said, really it's not that bad. We just need to upgrade it. So I said, you ready to sign the contracts? I had already filled out the contract. It was a Sean Terry contract. I had already filled it out. I just didn't put a name and I didn't put a price. And I put $100 for the escrow deposit. So she said, yeah, I'm ready to sign. I said, look, I know you want 104, but I'm going to give you 107. She said, well, look, you don't have to, but I appreciate it. I said, no problem. So we go outside. She has the for sale by owner sign. I said, yeah, you can take that up. I said, can I put a lockbox on? Because, I'm going to have my investors, inspectors, things like that come into the house, and I don't want to keep bothering you. Is it okay if I put a lockbox? She said, yeah, sure. Here's the keys. I said, well, the lockbox, it'll be 1920. That's the one I put on every lockbox. She said, yeah, no problem. I wrote the contract for 60 days. I told her that, look, we close a lot of houses per month. We usually close in 45 to 60 days or less. And she said, yeah, no problem. No problem. She said, I just don't want to make another payment. I said, you shouldn't have to. We should be fine. I should be able to get rid of it for the 30 days, but we just write it for 60 for worst case scenario. She said, yeah, no problem. Wrote the contract. I took the contract to the title company. I didn't even give them the $100. It's a title company. I'm still a realtor. So it's a title company I usually deal with. So I just gave them the contract and I started marketing the property, putting it on, the wholesale sites and Craigslist and things like that. And 2 weeks later, I got a lot of offers. Nothing. I think I started out at, I don't know, like 165 just to test the market. And I kept going down. And 2 weeks later, I got 2 buyers. One was a buyer that offered me, I think it was like 125 or something, like a week earlier. And he came back up and said, I'll give you 140. And I met another guy. He wasn't a cash buyer. He had a hard money lender. And he wanted to rehab it, but he wanted to live in it. So he said, yeah, this one is going to be for me and my wife. We just bought a house, like 2 or 3 blocks from here about a month ago or 2 months ago. And he says, I own 8 properties. 4 of them are paid for. So he said, I'm going to put 2 of them up for collateral. He said, I got a hard money lender I've been dealing with for years. I know they'll do it. I said, yeah, no problem. $5,000 non-refundable contract. No, no, um, it's no inspections. Zero day inspection period, and let's go. So I was ready to go with him, and then I got the call from the other investor that said he'll pay 140. So I guess he has a team. So somebody on his team called me and said, okay, yeah, we just need the boss to come out, and okay it, but I'm sure we're going to do it. So the next day I said, look, I got another guy, so he has to come out tomorrow. The boss came out. He called me back and said, look, I'm not sure if the bottom is going to be able to be insured, because we're so close to the water. I said, look, man, I'm not trying to talk you into it. I already got another buyer. It's either a yay or a nay. I just need to know a yes or a no from you. He said, well, we'll pass on this one, but call us on the next one. I said, okay, no problem. So I met the other guy that same day, wrote the contract out, met him the next day. He gave me the check. We didn't do it for $5,000. We did it for $2,500 non-refundable. He gave me a check. I took it to the title company. And 2 weeks later, we closed. And 2 weeks later. So in a month, 2 weeks to get the end buyer and 2 weeks to close. And even I talked to his hard money lender. And he was like, yeah, if you get something else, call me, the hard money lender. So yeah, this one was a great experience. It was really easy. I know, to anybody listening, this is like a one-off, believe me. They don't come easy like this. I look at this one as like it was God sent, because it was really easy. Like, I have a VA now, just off that money, I just put the money back into the business and hired a VA. I'm actually like on my third VA, because, if they're not performing, again, I don't believe in to keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So I give them, some time, 2-3 weeks. If they don't work out, they're late, not on time. I get rid of them and find somebody else. But anyway, I have a VA. I buy the list, and believe me, this one was very easy compared to what I'm running into now. I mean, everybody wants retail. You have to be able to talk them down as much as you can. And if the deal doesn't work, you just keep moving forward. But to be honest, it's just a numbers game. That's all it is. It's gonna happen. It's just you have to talk to so many people, and then you have to figure out how many people you have to talk to before you get that one deal. Once you do that, then you'll know how much money you can generate per month, and then it gets easier. So that's pretty much the story and where I'm at now. And I still, like I said, I'm still a realtor, so I still do listings. I get listings from banks, REO properties. So, I do that as well. And if I can't talk the people down enough, then I put my realtor hat on and I tell them, look, we have a realtor division. I'm sure, you don't quite want retail, but I'm sure we can throw our commission on top of what you want, and we can probably get you an offer within 30 to 60 days. Fair enough. It's all about the script, and I have your script. I have everything. Everything. Everything that you sell, I have it.
Keith, I gotta say one thing, man. Is that dude, like, I didn't speak a word throughout the whole time you said, because your stories and how clear you say things, it just kind of sucked me in, bro. Honestly.
Yeah.
Great story. The way that you talk, everything was clear, everything was to the point. So it kind of sucked me in, bro. So, and I want to say comprende, bravo for, being able to tell the seller, hey, I can give you more money on upfront on it. Dude, that's awesome, bro.
Yes.
And I want to say thank you so much for the kind word. And you guys got to understand, like, it feels so good in my heart that now I'm being, put up and not, I wouldn't say compare, but I'm being put up to these, like, these are people where these are to me like big player, you know, now we're talking about Sean Terry and things like that. So, dude, it feels so good in my heart, bro.
Look, man, I'm telling you, what you're doing, you know, God is always going to bless you because it's not about you, you know, and that's what I always tell myself. It's bigger than me because, you know, we all have kids, we all have family, friends, you know, that we really want to help, you know, and you're here helping people, you know, and it's just godly, you know, it's always going to be a plus, you know, when it's bigger than you, you know, when it's just not about you,
Yep.
you know, it's always going to grow.
Yep.
So, you know, I commend you. I salute you.
Dude, Keith.
My hat's off to you.
Oh man, Keith, thank you so, so much, man. And let me I want to say something and then I'll go back into the deal and ask Keith a couple questions. But I want you guys to understand, those of you who are going through tough times, like you going through extreme tough times, maybe you start a business and you took a loss and now you're starting from scratch, or maybe you somehow, you know, were irresponsible, gotten yourself into pretty much into a hole right now, like big debts, and you're trying to dig yourself out, or maybe you're going through some just tough time, man, health issues or relationship issue, and you're trying to pick yourself back up and you're trying to pretty much, you know, pick yourself back up and get your life on the right track, right? Let me tell you guys something. Let your stories be an inspirations to other when you make it. Like you might not be able to connect the dots, but you can only connect the dot by looking backward, not forward. So let your stories be an inspirations once you make it. Because let me tell you something. When my wife and I were going through all this struggle, I can only tell you guys the surface. If you guys were to be there with me, like looking back now, I couldn't even see how, you know, I really couldn't even see how we did it. But if my story would have been like, you know, my parents, they got money, I was blah blah blah, you know, you know, my dad was this, and I was given this to me to start, then my stories wouldn't be, it wouldn't inspire you, okay? But because of all the struggles and everything that we went through, and how normal, how average my wife and I was, right, or is, and that's what I think, that's what really being able to connect me with other people. Because man, if you guys like don't see, like when I come over here at the age of 9, never had a summer in my life, started out right after summer, like I hated school. After school, every single summer, my parents would make me go pick berries, and it's not for fun. Like it's not like one of those kids where their parent push them away to go pick berries because they don't want to get in trouble, or have some for them to do. And I see them like go pick strawberries. If you guys know what picking strawberries is like, man, they were there picking berries, eating the berries, and they were playing with their friends and having fun. No, my parents at the age of 9, I mean, already back in my country, I was already helping my family out at the age of 6. All right, came over at the age of 9. Got out of school. It wasn't oh, hang out with your friend, you know, like kids. I didn't have the childhood. All right. My childhood was always work, right? Work. Like that was implanted of me. So that's in me. I already know I have the work ethic. I just didn't have a good, like school wise, formal education wise, I just poorly educated. So, you know, so man, I remember waking up even 5 o'clock a.m. in the morning, sitting in the living room, helping my brother, my bigger brother, folding the newspaper, go deliver the paper with him, come back, put on the same jeans, the same shirt every single year from the age of 9 to 15. And it always covered in mud. After the summer was over, my parent would probably, you know, wash it, rinse it, hang it up in the closet. The next year, it's exact same thing again. Goodwill and Value Village is where we go to shop. You know, where we go to shop. And you guys, it was me picking strawberry, raspberry, beans, cucumbers, like you name it, I picked it. All right. And every single day at 6 a.m. to like 6 or 7 p.m., I would cover in mud, Keith. Like I would sneeze, and there would be dirt coming out. I mean, I was literally, you guys, I was like the top picker, strawberry picker. I would let me tell you guys something. It was, I think at the time, it was like 15 cents a pound. All right, 15 cents a pound. And within like a month, all right, within like a month or a month and a half of strawberry picking, I was able to accumulate $1,000 for my parents. All right,
Wow.
you guys. That's how
Wow.
many. That's how many berries I was picking. After that, we go on to blueberries, and then raspberry, and then cucumber and beans. But I would cover in dirt and mud. I don't care. My parent doesn't care if it rained that day, if it's rainy, if it's shiny, if it's thunder outside. We would go there, and like I couldn't even like. If you guys have to see pictures to really believe and understand what I'm telling you. Like I was in America, but it felt like I was back in my country in Vietnam. Like my dad would pack this little container of food, and we would sit under a tree. Our clothes were dirty, and then sitting there and eat. And it wasn't like eating and taking your time, eating and come back out and picking berries again. But anyways, but I want to let you guys know, those of you who's struggling, right, who's going through some tough time, I understand, I hear you. But what I'm saying is that use that story as an inspiration to other people and motivating when you make it to the top, all right? You make it to the top. Imagine how good your story is, saying, hey, I got in a loss and this and that. Dude, it'll be an awesome story, right? So I just want to let those of you know that you don't need to be special. You don't need a high school diploma. You don't need a college degree. You don't need to be super smart. If you have the work ethic in you, and if you are determined to make it, you can make your dream become a reality. You know,
Absolutely.
my wife,
Absolutely.
you know.
And Khang, let me just piggyback off of what you were saying. I don't have a college education. You know, I always started, even when I was young, I always had like a paper route. I caddied, you know, I cut hair, you know, like even to this day, I still cut my own hair. You know, even right now, you know, even with the VA, you know, I cold call. I even like sometimes I'm like, I get down even now, you know, but what I've learned, because I've lost everything and came back, lost everything and came back. This is what I know. I would take a person with drive rather than the smartest person in the world with no drive. It's all about mindset, you know, mindset, because what you go through, it just makes you stronger. You know, everybody's gonna go through something, you know, but you gotta grow through it, you know, not go through it, grow through it. And that's what you're doing. You're growing through it, you know.
Dude,
And just keep going, man. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, you are going to get a deal. It's not a if. It's not even a if. It's 100%. You're gonna get a deal as long as you don't quit. That's just what it is.
I love it, Keith.
Absolutely. Look,
Very
and
well
this
said.
is another thing that I say. It is no school for drive. You can't. It's no college degree for drive. You either got it or you don't. You either got it or you don't. You can't go to school and get drive. There's no classes for that. So you either got it or you don't. And if you don't have it, go get it.
Love it, Keith. Dude, love it, man, bro. Dude, that's awesome. Keith, so do you have a picture of the checks?
Yep. I got a picture right here.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm
Yep.
talking about. And
Yes.
do you have the trophy that I sent you?
Yeah, I got the trophy. You
Let's show
you
it.
want to see it?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Oh, bear with me one second.
Sure. I want to see it. And you guys, while Keith going and grab that, you know, I love this first time wholesale deal interview. You guys know why? Because it's, to me, when I first got my first deal, it was so emotionally, mentally implanted because it became a game changer for me. And that's why like these kind of interviews just touched me so bad, man.
This is it.
Boom. And
Boom.
those of you who's watching this and that you're in my private Facebook group because you bought one of the package, and if you haven't got your trophy, get up and go get it. Get your first deal done so I can send that trophy to you, man.
Absolutely. Now,
So,
Khang, I wanted to tell you also because I just started doing mail outs. I'm doing about 2,000
okay.
a month, all absentee owners. But I'm also doing probate,
Sure.
divorce, death,
Okay.
um, and I cold call code violations as well, stuff
Okay.
like that. But I did my first mail out. It was last week. I think it was like 540, 50 homeowners.
Okay.
And I got, I think, like 3 calls. I know it's super saturated. You know, I'm in the Tampa
Yep.
area. It's super saturated, but that's where I'm at too with the mail out. So I'll see how those go. it's consistency is really the main thing. You just gotta, if you don't keep the fish pole in the pond, you can't catch any fish. So,
Right.
it's just consistency with that.
Well said. Well said, Keith. So, Keith, now let's go back and analyze your deal really quick. So, you got the seller off of Craigslist, right?
Yeah, I got it on Craigslist.
Okay, you got off the Craigslist, and the property was rental, but the rental move out, and it was vacant.
Yeah, it was vacant.
Okay,
All
now
cleaned up. Pretty much just ready to be rehabbed.
gotcha. Okay, so let me see here. So the seller, is she in the same area, or she? Okay,
Yeah, she was like, I don't know, maybe 2 miles from the home.
okay, gotcha. Okay, so you got her on the phone, and then you went out and meet with her, and then lock her up on the contract the same day.
Correct. Same, right at the property.
Gotcha. But because so on Craigslist, did she advertise it for 104?
No, she didn't even put it on Craigslist. I put an ad on
Oh, I'm
Craigslist
sorry.
saying, we buy homes, cash, we pay all your closing costs, which
Mhm.
save you at least 10%.
Yep.
And she, like literally 5 minutes after I posted the ad, she called me.
Ah,
Yeah, 5 minutes after I
got
posted, she called me. And
gotcha. Okay. So you guys got to understand this, okay? Every marketing channel work is that how consistent are you?
mhm,
Because some people will test it out, because some people will be like this. Oh, they hear somebody got a lead from this, so they try it out for like a month or so, and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. And they heard somebody said, oh, postcard. They tried out the postcard. They heard somebody said, oh, code violation, go down to here. So they go there, they try for 30 days. They try this, they try that, and they're dabbling. So you going so many, you pick, all right, you pick 1 or 2 or 3, I think 3 at the top, marketing channel that you freaking want to laser focus in and zone in, and just being consistent on it and just pound it, okay? And then I believe in consistency, right? It's not about going here and going there because you heard people. Okay, so this one is a Craigslist ad.
yep, Craigslist at $5, Khang.
$5.
$5. $5 made me 25,000.
That's what dude. That's what I'm gonna title it. So she calls in. You got a number, and then you
Yeah,
set the appointment.
yeah. I set the appointment for that same day. Went out, looked at the property. It was a great property. I knew when I looked on Zillow, I knew it was a deal. That's why I told her, I'm gonna give you more than because she didn't want any money.
Sure,
Said no, I'm gonna give you more than that. You know,
gotcha. So
she,
I suppose she owns it free and clear.
no, her mortgage, her payoff was like 104.
Oh,
Yeah. So I told her, look, I'm gonna give you more than 104 because
I see.
I knew it was worth at least 250, 260.
I got you.
After
Okay,
rehab, it probably needed like 50 grand worth of work, but still,
okay.
um,
So
you know,
the ARV is 250 on
yeah,
it.
250, 260.
Okay,
Uh,
rehab is about 50K,
yeah,
and
was
then
about 50.
gotcha. Okay, and then you got it locked up in a contract for 107.
Yep, 107. Yeah,
You put on the contract for $100 earnest money.
yeah, $100. But I never took the $100.
Yep.
Like even at closing, I talked to the title agent. She said, yeah, you can come in and sign. And I said, well, I never gave you guys the $100. Do you want me to get a cashier's check? Or she said, no, I already added it into the HUD, so
Yeah.
you don't even have to bring it. So I never even brought the $100.
Gotcha, man. Yep.
And she didn't look. I told her where to sign. It could have been signing her whole life away.
Yep.
She just wanted to get rid of the property.
Sure.
I was a blessing at that point in time. She just like, look, I'm making the payment today. I just don't want to have to make another mortgage payment. That
Right.
was it.
Gotcha. And the thing is, you guys, when you come across a seller that is motivated, and then if you can know how to talk to them, right, making sure you answer all the questions, making sure that, basically what it is you can gain that trust and know how to talk and communicate with the seller properly. Like the earnest money and the whole bit, that like those things shouldn't even come up. Like it's really extremely rare that it does come up. And for us, usually if it comes up, because the sellers actually has a realtor or they work with a realtor before, so they know about it, but most they don't even come up. You guys, those of you who have that question kind of come up, is because you don't have to talk to the seller. It's like you don't know how to communicate right properly. So when they feel something suspicious, they're gonna ask you. So nice, man. So you lock it up for 60 days, 107. And how did you find your buyer?
I went to a couple wholesale Facebook sites. The We Buy Cash sites. I can't even remember which one because I posted in so many of them. But again, I had I had some other offers, but they were just trying to lowball me.
Right.
And to be honest, if this would have been in Tampa, because I'm a realtor, but I never done any deals outside of Hillsborough County. Well, let me put it like this: in Manatee County, I've done them in other counties, but not this county. If it would have been in another county, I probably would have made like 50 grand, But I didn't know this county, so I didn't know because I have cash buyers, but the ones I had, they didn't want to go to Manatee County. So, I know I still gave it away, but I'm like, look, but to make 24, almost 25 grand, it is what it is. And
yeah, man. Heck yeah. 24,000 something on a $5 ad, man. Love it. So now, yeah, man. So Keith, so let me see here. So your buyer came from, so basically your buyer came from Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Both of them did, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So let me see here. So why did it end up to be like 24,885 50 cents? You did a double closing?
Yeah, I did a double closing because I didn't want them to see how much I was making.
Correct.
So I did a double closing.
Gotcha. You did a double closing
and I didn't have them pay the closing costs either. I didn't do a net deal. He paid his closing costs, I paid mine.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys, for those of you who's not clear on that, basically what it is when you do a double closing, Keith paid for all the seller closing costs. Okay. He paid for all the seller closing costs. And then that goes on to now he actually owns the property. All right. And at the same time, he owns it for like, I don't know, like let's just say half an hour. And then the buyer comes in and now he's selling that property over to his end buyer. And now what happened is that Keith ended up with another seller closing cost. Correct, Keith?
Correct.
So Keith ended up with another seller closing cost, and then the buyer pays for their own closing costs. And typically buyer closing costs is not that much because if they come in with all cash, it's really not that much. It's only like, I don't know, a couple $100. All right. So that's why Keith, so what was the price that you sold to the buyer for?
I ended up selling it for 136.
136. Gotcha. Okay. So 107, 136. And that's how Keith got his check. He did a double closing at $24,885. So I guess you went and showed the property to the buyer, correct?
Yeah. I showed it to several buyers, through those 2 weeks. But yeah, it went out. All of them went out. Because as soon as I started posting it on Facebook, and Craigslist, I started getting ads. Now, another thing that I learned, because I went on Craigslist and I put the address on. So what happened was realtors started calling her to pitch, to list the home. So she called me and was like, look, my kids, they saw it on Zillow and all of this, because I also put it on Zillow. So she said, could you just take it off Zillow for me? Because I don't want them in my business and things like that. I said, yeah, no problem. I'll take it off. So I took it off. So that taught me a lesson too, is never put the address on there. Don't ever put the address. You can put it on Craigslist. Don't put the address. You want to, when they call you, if they're a cash buyer, then you can give them the address, to meet you out there or whatnot. But never put it on Craigslist or Zillow.
Yep, you guys, lesson learned. All right, make sure you don't put the address. You just put like a streets or a cross streets or whatever it is, and then put serious buyer only, and then the buyer contact you, verify them, and then send them the address. So Keith, let's wrap it up, bro. That's pretty much it to the deal. If you guys have any questions, drop your comment below. Remember, if you do enjoy this little interview, show Keith or guest some love. If you recently closed your first wholesale deal, comment with your email or email me at wholesale2millions@gmail.com. Love to get you on. So Keith, some last word, man, for those that want to connect with you, where can they find you?
I'm usually on my Facebook. I have Instagram, but I really don't use it. My business page on Facebook is Tampa Bay Homes by People's Choice Realty.
Tampa Bay
LLC.
Home.
By People's Choice Realty, LLC.
Okay. So Keith, if you can text that over to me just to make sure I have it so I can post it in the descriptions. So that's the only way that you can be able to connect with Keith. He's in Tampa, Florida. If you just want to connect, do deals or whatsoever, hit him up. Now, Keith, any last word for those that are like trying to get their first deal done pretty much, man?
Okay, now one more thing. When I did sell the home, what I did, and if you guys can do this, I did a video, you know, and I tried to have the buyer, the end buyer in the video, but he didn't want to say how much he paid for the property. So I said, look, man, you know, it's public record. You know, they gonna know. He didn't want to do it. So I did a video without him. And I still said how much I bought it. I mean, how much I sold it for. But that video, I put it back on the Facebook sites. I got like 50 cash buyers at least off of that one video. You know, so if you can do a video or whatnot after you sell the property, you'll get a lot of buyers, a lot of cash buyers from doing videos. And another thing, like on my next one, as long as it's vacant, I'll do a video instead of, you know, I'm still going to take pictures, but I like to do videos and then I'll put it on the Facebook site. So this way they won't, because I took like 40 or 50 pictures, but you always got some investors like, look, can you send me some more pictures? Mm-hmm. So I would rather do a video and then just show them the whole house and sell it that way and market it that way. But yeah, I mean, again, you know, if you're trying to wholesale, don't give up. You know, it's a numbers game. It's gonna happen as long as you don't give up. And once you do 1 or 2, 3, you get your processes and procedures down pat. All you do is you just duplicate it multiple times. You know, so that's it.
Almost Lon. Yeah. Awesome. So Keith, great man. So hey, you guys, thank you so much. I'm just gonna wrap this up. For those of you, thank you so much, and just keep at it, Keith. I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, and I wish you, massive success in 2019. Let's crush it together, and you guys take care. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, boom, smash the subscribe button. Show or get some love. Smash that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.